I'm Gina Geliche.
And I'm Monica Freeman, and this is Finlandia Fridays.
Hello and welcome to Finlandia Fridays. My name is Michael Babcock, and I am your host for this weekly interview series here at Finlandia University. Today is Friday, November 3rd, and this is the first time in Season 2 of Finlandia Fridays we actually have two guests. Exciting moment here. We have Gina Geliche and Monica Freeman. Gina, Monica, welcome to the show.
Thanks for having us.
Thanks.
We're excited to have you guys as we know you guys have done a lot of things together this year and last year, being roommates now for 2 years in a row at the Servant Leadership House here at Finlandia University. I want to talk a little bit about the Servant Leadership House. Before I go into my definition of what it is, I'm hoping you guys can both just kind of give a brief overview of what it is to you guys. So Gina, let's start with you. What is the Servant Leadership House to you as a third-year resident of the house? What has it been like as a student for you?
It's been a wonderful experience. It's been a lot of involvement with the campus and the community, a lot of self-education and trying to educate the community about various topics.
Excellent. Monica, what can you add to that? You're in your second year now living in the house. What's it been like for you?
It's really awesome. I actually had my parents come up last year, and they told me I seemed a lot more calm in the house than I did in the dorms. So I think the unique living arrangement is a really great opportunity to spread your wings and actually learn to be an adult.
Yeah, excellent. So the Servant Leadership House, this is a straight definition from the website. I usually try not to do this, but I think it's really well put together by the Servant Leadership House advisor, Renee Johnson. The Servant Leadership House is a unique living and learning community for female students who are committed to personal growth and servant leadership as a means of building a vibrant and caring community. This is actually a physical house on our campus located right on Quincy Street that's been part of the Finlandia family for quite a while. But Renee had a vision for it, and she kind of worked with some very hands-on students, some all-star students to make it a reality. And Gina, you were there from the very beginning. Tell us a little bit about that, what it was like at the beginning and what it's grown into now.
In the early days, it was a house full of stuff, broken stuff from various places on campus. And when I first got back to campus in that August, there weren't any walls. No walls, no furniture, nothing. There was one room that was livable when we first showed up. And then it slowly came together over August and September. We had moved in October of that year, and I had walked in just in time for them to take down part of the chimney. And I was handed a broom, and the next day I was handed a power sander. So it was very much a learning experience. Learned a lot of interesting things. I know how to use power tools. I learned to glaze windows, all sorts of various house maintenance things in the process.
Yeah, it's definitely been a life experience. And it was really an entire campus community effort that first year. Throughout that summer, a lot of people came in and painted, took apart the walls, as you mentioned, helped refinish things, brought in different materials that make the house a livable place, and what it's turned into seems to be a pretty nice place. Monica, what would you say about the living environment now and how it is as being a resident there?
Oh, I love it. It's so awesome. You come in, it's already furnished. You got your own kitchen and everything. My favorite room is the living room, to be honest, because it's really homey. And you can just kind of sit there and everyone just kind of gathers there. And it's like living with the family.
Yeah, how many people are in the house this year?
5.
5 of you? Which is a pretty full house, but it's kind of a large house. There's room for that. I know that the living room you're talking about, the sunlight in there is really nice. And the bedrooms upstairs, when we first opened it, we had a kind of an open house tour of it. And I was impressed with the size of everything for a college, for what's kind of a college living experience. It seems like a great spot for that. And the other part that's interesting is you guys have some kind of formalities living there in terms of is it weekly meetings? What are those weekly meetings like?
Well, once a month we meet with Renee, but each week we gather as a house and we sit down and check in with each other. He needs help with what we all sort of host service projects, I guess I call them, sometimes just an event at the house or hosting guest speakers or things like that. And we usually play games.
Sorry. Sometimes it relates to the topic we're doing, and other times it's just kind of hey, we're here, because a lot of people don't always know we're on campus.
Yeah, and so the topics we're doing is something I was hoping to get into next. I know that the first year was bees, correct?
Water.
Water. So the first year was water, second year was bees.
Second year was bees. Last year was homelessness.
Okay. So it's kind of every year you get a different topic that you can really dive into. And this year you guys are kind of partnering with the It's On Us event series, talking about sexual assault awareness, and all of the great things that come along with that. We talked quite a bit about that a couple episodes ago with Erin Barnett, and we'll post a link to that episode in the show notes, because if you're not familiar with the It's On Us event series, you definitely want to listen to Erin and her talking about what motivated her to get involved with that, what motivated the Michigan State Police Agency that helped fund a lot of those things. And it comes back to you guys then on these final 2 events as a part of the It's On Us event series. And I'm gonna go into some quick details on both of those. On Thursday, November 9th, we're gonna have Kelly Sy coming to campus. And this is kind of the quick description of it. Don't miss a chance to be captivated by the talented Kelly Sy. The Brooklyn-based artist's work as a performance poet has been featured at over 700 venues worldwide, including the White House, HBO, and MTV Iggy. Do you guys know what MTV Iggy is? I can't. We gotta take a look at that. That sounds interesting. Sy will present spoken word poetry related to the It's On Us topic. In addition to this presentation on Thursday, November 9th, she'll actually have a chance to meet with you guys. What are you guys expecting out of that opportunity to have her at the Servant Leadership House?
Well, I'm excited. We had one speaker last year, and I remember going in, I was like, this is going to be so awkward. Like, I don't know this person whatsoever. And it was great. Like, she was so nice. And we just had a really good conversation. We had good food, thanks to you.
Yeah, I heard you're kind of the host for these events. Is that true?
Yeah, I usually end up cooking large scale for whoever shows up. Sometimes it's the house, sometimes it's the house and the heads of other clubs, and then of course the speaker. And then we usually escort them to their event afterwards.
Okay, so it's kind of a okay, that's exciting. And the other event we'll be hosting is on Tuesday, November 14th. It's the following Tuesday. This is going to be Emily Linden. I'll read quickly through what her event is going to be. So Emily Linden is a suicide prevention activist, and she will transform perception of your world, of the word slut. Join her in creating a world where that doesn't even make sense to use that as an insult. And this is an interesting topic and something that, as I said, Erin talked quite a bit about. What kind of things have you guys done in the Servant Leadership House to kind of get into this conversation and to bring this topic to light for you guys?
Over the summer, we kind of did like a book club where we all read different books about sexual assault. So the one I chose was by John Krakauer, and it was about a college town in Montana and how they dealt with rape cases and whatnot. And it was like really enlightening. Like, I loved the book, and I felt really awkward saying that because it was a book about rape, but I like made my mom read it too. So it was really enlightening to read because it dispels some stereotypes we have about sexual assault.
Yeah. And Gina, you had books as well as part of what you were doing?
Yeah, my book was from the 1980s about preventing sexual assault, and I had read it in hopes of a comparison, hoping to see change from sort of rape culture since then.
Yeah.
It unfortunately has not changed much. There were photos in that book about self-defense, so there's some very interesting outfits, but besides the change of clothing, not a lot's changed.
Yeah. Interesting. Well, make sure that if you're able to get out to those 2 events, they should be quite interesting. And if you want to learn more about the Servant Leadership House, check out the show notes here. You go to finlandia.edu/Fridays. We'll have links to all of that stuff, including the dates, so you can make sure to add those to your calendar. I want to thank you guys for being on the show today.
Thanks for having us.
All right. Everybody, we made it to another Friday. I want you to enjoy the rest of the day, and we'll be back next Friday.